All right, so before I start, I want to give a quick shout out to my coworker back home. You know, we were talking about Saul Canelo Alvarez and the whole situation with Gennady Golovkin, and he told me to throw some shade on Canelo Alvarez because we were both saying oh man, Canelo's such a bitch for ducking Gennady Golovkin, and yeah, so shout out to him. And basically, I was this close to just making the video, just like ranting on how much of a bitch Canelo Alvarez was for taking the fight with Amir Khan. But of course, I had to do a little bit of research first, and normally for me when I do my videos, I try to study up a little bit more, even if I do have some knowledge. Just like I try to jog my memory of like their recent actions before putting out content. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I want to talk about um, Conor McGregor, even though I already know the situation with him and Dana White, I'll still go back and rehash and just reread some of the content of the situation that's coming up with UFC 200 before coming on here and talking about it. So in this case with Canelo, what I did was I went on his box rec, and I went on, I searched Google interviews and stuff like that, just so I can just to refresh everything I want to talk about, refresh in my mind all the recent actions that he's taken before I talk about this Gennady Golovkin situation. And after refreshing my mind of what Saul Canelo Alvarez has recently done, I've decided that instead of throwing shade on him, for this video, I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I feel like that's the least we can do. And here's why. All right, Canelo Alvarez's last 6 fights, you can argue, has been one of the toughest schedules in sport today. Probably top 10, if not top 5. And just in my opinion. And here's why. Let me just remind you people the last 6 people that he fought. Okay. Saul Canelo Alvarez fought Austin Trout to win the title, right? And then after he beat Austin Trout, he goes on to fight Floyd Mayweather, and he loses, but he fought him anyway. We can all consider those two competitors some tough ones, all right? After he loses to Floyd Mayweather, he fights Alfredo Angulo. He's not the greatest fighter ever, but he's not a bum. I think we can all acknowledge that. He has power in both hands. And after Angulo, he gets called out by Irislandi Lara during a press conference. And I want you to remember me mentioning him being called out by Irislandi Lara. But yeah, he gets called out by Lara, and he takes that fight. That challenge against Oscar De La Hoya's wishes. And after Lara, he takes a little break, and he goes on to fight James DeGale, who was also coming off a break. However, with how competitive those 3 rounds were, I don't think we should just chalk it all up to, oh, James DeGale only got knocked out because he was coming off a layoff. Like I don't know. Like you can say that, but I'd still say he's still a notch above a bum. All right, I think we can all acknowledge that, especially with the performance that James DeGale put on for the time that he was in there with Canelo. He did pretty decent. He landed some shots. He pushed Canelo back. I mean, yeah. So after he fights James DeGale, he goes on to fight Miguel Cotto, and I shouldn't have to explain what Miguel Cotto has done. I think we can all agree that Miguel Cotto is an elite fighter. So with those names mentioned, I think we can all agree that Saul Canelo Alvarez has had a pretty tough schedule with his past 6 fights. Okay, it's a pretty tough schedule. I don't know who you can argue has had a better one. Okay, I mean, I'm sure there's people that probably have had a better one, but it's like off the top of my head, this is the toughest. The last 6 fights, these were the toughest. Like for him, he's had the toughest past 6 fights than anyone else in the sport today. Like all right, top 5 at least. All right, if you think there's someone had a tougher schedule, just put in the comments section, and I'd like to see. But yeah, that's my opinion. So with all that being said, I have no problem with Saul Canelo Alvarez wanting to take a bump fight, you know, because the thing is, everyone needs a break. I mean, you can't just go from killer to killer to killer every single fucking fight, okay? I don't think there's anyone that's done that. Even the fucking old greats have taken a bum here and there after a big fight, all right? And I don't blame anyone for doing that. I mean, you need to rest. Sometimes you might want to have sometimes you might want to have less of a mentally straining training camp, okay? And so my only issue is, my only issue with the fight they chose is the fact that he can kill someone in there, all right? This is not a joke. Amir Khan is a 147 pounder with a glass chin, a chin of a fucking 135 pounder. That's the scary part about it. But at the same time, Amir Khan signed on the dotted line, and if that's what he's willing to do to get that big name fight, we should all respect it. But my point is, I feel like Saul Canelo Alvarez has earned himself a bump fight. I know that it's shameful that he go to 147 to find one, but the truth is, I think he's earned it. That's why, like, if you look at people like Saul Canelo Alvarez and Danny Garcia, how can you say that those two people did not deserve their bumps? All right, look at Danny Garcia. All right, before he fights fucking Rod Salka, he had a fight against who was it? I think it was Herrera, and he had Matisse, and he also fought against Amir Khan, and he had so many different fighters that are very credible on his resume. And he had a difficult schedule too. And we should respect fighters for wanting to take a bump fight every now and then to recharge, just to feel confident again. Because you can't just go into these big fights and then it's, what I'm saying? Like, let them recharge. All right. It's like they don't want to go through killer after killer. And plus, let's be honest, Amir is gonna get him that money. He wants that money too. All right. Why? It's like I feel like in Saul Canelo Alvarez's mind, it's like, why fight fucking Gennady Golovkin when I can probably get more money fighting Amir Khan? And it's true. He's probably getting more money fighting Amir Khan. Let's be honest. Am I supporting it? No. But when I heard that Saul Canelo Alvarez wanted to get one more fight before Triple G, I did not mind at all. I thought he deserved it. And I think he should. It just should. I feel like it just should have been either a 154 pounder or a 160 pounder. But it is what it is. Now remember when I told you guys that to keep in mind the situation with Gennady Golovkin and how Oscar De La Hoya didn't want the fight. I feel like Oscar De La Hoya plays a bigger role in this than you guys realize. Because remember, Oscar De La Hoya did not want Canelo to fight Gennady Golovkin, and Saul Canelo Alvarez had to petition for it. All right, and then look at the situation with Gennady Golovkin again. After the during the post-fight press conference, someone asked Saul Canelo Alvarez, would you fight Golovkin? And Alvarez, he seemed full of himself. He was like, yeah, I'll bring him on. I'll fight anybody. And I feel like after that whole ordeal, Oscar De La Hoya was like, no, we're not doing this again. Oscar De La Hoya put his foot down. He's like, no, we're not doing this again. You can't fight Golovkin, or at least take a bump fight, or did whatever to convince Canelo to take a fight other than Golovkin immediately. And Oscar De La Hoya, he worked his magic too. He went to fucking Triple G's camp and he negotiated, and now come September, we're going to be in the same situation that we're in now. So for the fight not happening with Triple G and Saul Canelo Alvarez, it is Saul Canelo Alvarez's fault, but at the same time, it's like, I think that we should put more blame on Oscar De La Hoya, or at least give him some blame, because I feel like he's the one that's orchestrating this. He's the one that really wants to keep Canelo away from Triple G for as long as possible to save his dying brand. All right, so yeah, it is what it is. for me to make my final judgment on the whole situation with Saul Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin, I have to see what he does after Amir Khan, because I think I can forgive him for fighting Amir Khan if he fights Gennady Golovkin next. I can forgive him. Okay, I mean, he deserves a bump fight. I'm just gonna be straight up. Like, I feel like Saul Canelo Alvarez deserves a bump fight. He deserves at least one. All right, and I'm not calling Amir Khan a bum. Don't get me wrong. I'm not calling Amir Khan a bum. I'm just saying you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna perform as well going from 147 to 160. 155 catch weight. I don't think he's going to perform the way he thinks he's going to perform. I think he's going to perform at bum levels for 155. That's just my opinion. But yeah, again, this is me playing devil's advocate. I also think that Saul Canelo Alvarez should be fighting Gennady Golovkin right now, just because that's the fan in me. I want to see that fight. But at the same time, I don't blame him for taking on a bum fight, or not a bum, but taking on Amir Khan. Because, not only does Amir Khan bring money, there's less of a threat that comes with Amir Khan. But if Saul Canelo Alvarez if he loses this fight, that is not going to be good for his image, or Golden Boy's image. That could be the end of Canelo Alvarez right there. But yeah, these are just my opinions. Remember, I'm just a casual fan. And thank you guys for listening to this video. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. Oh, fuck my phone. Alright, thank you guys. Bye.